Hello everyone, in this video we're going to review AP, Calculus, AB and BC, topic, derivatives and their applications. Alright, before we're going to dive into the problems, let's review some basic formulas and general derivatives. Alright, so we have derivative of a constant equals 0, right? Derivative of constant times a function fs is going to be constant times derivative of the function fs. Now we have the product rule. U times v prime is going to be u prime times v plus v prime times u, right? We have the quotient rule. U over v prime is going to be u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. Alright. Now we have the sum and difference rule. U plus v prime is going to be u prime plus v prime, right? If you have subtraction, and then this one should be subtraction, right? Now we have the chain rule. So if you have the function h of s equals f of g of s. Now if you take derivative of this one, it's going to be f prime of g of s times g prime of s. Now we have the power rule. S to the n derivative is going to be n times s to the n minus 1. U to the n prime is going to be n times u to the n minus 1 times u prime. A to the s prime is going to be a to the s times ln a. Now you have a to the u prime is going to be a to the u ln a times u prime. Now you have e to the s prime is going to be e to the s, right? E to the u prime is going to be e to the u times u prime. Log base a of s prime is going to be 1 over s times ln a. Now log base a of u prime is going to be u prime over u ln a. ln s prime is going to be 1 over s. You have ln u prime is going to be u prime over u. You have sine s prime is going to be cosine s, right? You have sine u prime is going to be u prime times cosine u. Cosine s prime is going to be negative sine s. Cosine u prime is going to be negative u prime times sine u. Tangent s prime is going to be secant square of s. Tangent u prime is going to be u prime secant square of u. Cotangent s prime is going to be negative cosecant square of s. Cotangent of u prime is going to be negative u prime cosecant square of u. Secant s prime is going to be secant s times tangent s. Secant u prime is going to be u prime secant u tangent u. Cosecant s prime is going to be negative cosecant s cotangent s. Cosecant u prime is going to be negative u prime cosecant u, cotangent u. Inverse sine s prime is going to be 1 over square root of 1 minus s squared. Inverse sine u prime is going to be u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared. Inverse tangent s prime is going to be 1 over 1 plus s squared. Inverse tangent u prime is going to be u prime over 1 plus u squared. Inverse cosine s prime is negative 1 over square root of 1 minus s squared. Inverse cosine u prime is going to be negative u prime over square root of 1 minus u squared. Inverse cotangent s prime equals negative 1 over 1 plus s squared. Inverse cotangent u prime equals negative u prime over 1 plus u squared. Inverse cosecant s prime is negative 1 over s times square root of s squared minus 1. Inverse cosecant u prime is negative u prime over u square root of u squared minus 1. Inverse secant s prime is 1 over s square root of s squared minus 1. Inverse secant u prime is u prime over u times square root of u squared minus 1. Now we're going to talk about the derivative of an inverse function. Alright, so derivative of the inverse of f of s equals 1 over f prime of inverse of f of s. Now you see the graph of the function f of s and its inverse, right? So in other words, we can manipulate this formula as follows. So you want to find derivative of inverse of f of s, and you need to evaluate this guy at s equals f of a. It's going to be 1 over f prime of a. You can write the derivative of inverse of f of b. It's going to be 1 over f prime of a, where b actually f of a, right? Now lastly, we're going to talk about the linear approximation. Alright, so it's important to know that the linear approximation is given by the formula f of s is equivalent to f of c plus f prime of c times s minus c, where c and f of c is the tangent point. Now, how do we have this formula? Remember, you learned from algebra 1. We have y minus y1 equals m times s minus s1, right? This one is the point slope formula, right? In this situation, s1, y1, e, c, and f of c, right? And the slope m right here actually f prime of c, right? So we substitute over here, and we have y right here is actually f of s, right? So we have f of s minus y1, which means f of c, right? Equals f prime of c times s minus c, right? So I'm going to add f of c both sides, so I have f of s equals f of c plus f prime of c times s minus c. That's why I get this formula right here, right? Now, it's important to know whether the linear approximation gives you the overestimate or underestimate. Alright, so we look at this one right here. This is the function f of s, the curve right here is the function f of s, right? Now you have the tangent line right here, and if the function is concave down and the tangent line is above the function, right? We can say that this one is overestimate, right? Look, at this point right here is the value of this guy right here, right? At the point A right here, we have f of a right here, right? So this guy above this guy, which means f of s right here, greater than f of a, which is overestimate, right? Similarly, if the function is concave up, and then you have this one right here, it's going to be this guy, right? And the value of this guy right here actually f of a, right? F of a is bigger than this one, right? So we can say that the linear approximation gives you the underestimate. Now let's move on to question 1. If the function f of s is given by this one, then we need to find f prime of 0, right? So we're going to use the chain rule, right? So we have u to the n prime is going to be n times u to the n minus 1 times u prime, right? U in this expression is going to be s squared minus 2s minus 1, right? So we have f prime of s first equals 2 over 3 times s squared minus 2s minus 1 raised to the 2 over 3 minus 1 is going to be negative 1 over 3, right? Times u prime, which means 2s minus 2, right? So we substitute 0 for s, so it will be f prime of 0 equal to 2 over 3 times negative 1 raised to the negative 1/3, right? Times 0 minus 2, it will be negative 2, right? Now, negative 1 raised to the negative 1/3, you can rewrite this one as 1 over negative 1 raised to the power 1/3, right? And it's going to be 1 over cube root of negative 1, and it's going to be negative 1, right? So, negative 1 times negative 2, it could be 2, right? 2 times 2 over 3, it could be 4 over 3, right? So, the answer must be A. Now, question 2. If f of s equals 2s plus 1 raised to the 4, then the fourth derivative of f of s equals 0 is. Alright, so we have the first derivative is 4 times 2s plus 1 raised to the third, right? And then times 2, right? So it could be 8 times 2s plus 1 raised to the third. Now, f double prime of s equals 3 times 8, it could be 24, right? Times derivative of 2s plus 1, it could be 2, right? Times 2s plus 1, 3 subtract 1, it could be 2. So it could be 48 times 2s plus 1 squared, right? Now, f triple prime of s is bring 2 to the front, it could be 96. And then derivative of 2s plus 1, it could be 2, right? Times 2s plus 1 power of 1, right? So it could be 96 times 2, it could be 192, right? Times 2s plus 1. Now, the fourth derivative of this one is going to be 192 times 2, right? So it's going to be 384, right? So the answer must be E. Now for question 3 to 5, the table below shows some of the values of two differentiable functions, f and g and their derivatives. Question 3. If h of s equals f of s times g of s plus f of s over g of s, then find the value of h prime of phi, right? So we just take the derivative of this one using the product rule and quotient rule, right? So we have h prime of s equals f prime of s times g of s plus g prime of s times f of s plus f prime of s times g of s subtract g prime of s times f of s over g of s squared, right? So we substitute phi for s, right? So we have f prime of phi. F prime of phi is going to be 4, right? G of phi is going to be negative 2 times negative 2 plus g prime of phi is going to be 5 right here. F of phi is going to be 3 plus f prime of phi is going to be 4, right? G of phi is going to be negative 2 minus g prime of phi is going to be 5 and f of phi is going to be 3 over g of phi squared is going to be negative 2 squared is going to be 4, right? Now we're going to simplify this one. It's actually 5 over 4. The answer must be A. Now question 4. If h of s equals f of g of 2s, then find the value of h prime of 2, right? So we're going to use the chain rule, right? So h prime of s equals f prime of g of 2s times g prime of 2s times derivative of the one inside here, 2, right? So we substitute 2 for s, so it will be h prime of 2 equals f prime of g of 4 times g prime of 4 times 2, right? Now g of 4 is 3 and g prime of 4 is 9, right? So we have f prime of 3 times 9 times 2, right? Now f prime of 3 is negative 5, right? So we have negative 5 times 9 times 2, right? So it could be negative 90. The answer must be A. Now question 5. If h of s equals g of s squared, then find the value of h prime of 3. So we have h prime of s equals, we're going to use the power rule, right? So it could be 2g of s times g prime of s, right? So we have h prime of 3 is 2 times g of 3 times g prime of 3, right? Now we look at g of 3 and g prime of 3 is going to be right here. G of 3 is 6, g prime of 3 equals 2, right? So we have 2 times 6 times 2, right? So it's going to be 24, right? The answer must be C. Question 6. If y equals 2 cosine s over 2, we need to find the second derivative of this one, right? So we have the first derivative is going to be 2 times cosine u prime is going to be negative u prime sine u, right? It's going to be negative 2, right? Sine of s over 2 times derivative of s over 2, which means 1/2, right? So we need to simplify this one. It's going to be negative sine s over 2, right? Now the second derivative is going to be negative cosine s over 2 times derivative of this one is going to be 1/2, right? So it will be negative 1/2 cosine s over 2. The answer must be E. Now let's move on to question 7. The cost in dollars to shred the confidential documents of a company is multiplied by C, a differentiable function of the weight of documents in pounds. Of the following, which is the best interpretation of C prime of 500 equals 80? We look at this one, C prime of 500. It tells us that this one is the rate of change, right? So rate of change will be increasing or decreasing. So keep that in mind, right? Now answer choice 8. The cost to shred 500 pounds of documents is $80. is not the case, right? Because this is C prime, it's not C, right? Now, answer choice B, the average cost to shred documents is $80 divided by $500 per pound. No. Answer choice C, increasing the weight of the documents by 500 pounds will increase the cost to shred the document by approximately $80. No. And the last one, the cost to shred documents is increasing at a rate $80 per pound when the weight of the document is 500 pounds. This one is the correct answer. Now, question 8. What is the slope of the tangent line to the curve at the point 3, 2? So remember, the slope of the tangent line is going to be dy over ds, right? So we're going to take the both sides with respect to s, right? So we have sec y times dy over ds, right? Minus 4s equals derivative of this one equals 0, right? Now for this one, we need to use the product rule, right? So I have negative 2 outside. Parenthesis. Derivative of s with respect to s, it could be 1, right? So I have y only. Derivative of y with respect to s could be dy over ds, right? So I have plus s dy over ds, right? Now I'm going to substitute values, right? So s equals 3, y equals 2, right? So I have 12 dy over ds minus 4 times 3 equals 12, right? Equals negative 2 times 2 plus 3 dy over ds, right? Now I need to solve for dy over ds, right? So right here I just distribute negative 4 minus 6 dy over ds, right? I add 6 dy over ds both sides, so 6 plus 12 it could be 18 dy over ds, right? Equals add 12 both sides, so it could be 8, right? So dy over ds equals 8 divided by 18, right? Divide the top and bottom by 2, so it could be 4 over 9. The answer must be B. Now question 9. The temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit of water in a pond is modeled by the function h given by h of t equals 55 minus 9 cosine 2 pi over 365 times t plus 10, where t is the number of days since January. So right here, t equals 0, right? What is the instantaneous rate of change of the temperature of the water at the time t equals 90 days? Alright. Another name of the instantaneous rate of change is derivative. Now, since this one allows you to use the calculator, right? So we just print up the calculator. Alright, add calculator. Now, we need to take the derivative of this one. And then we need to evaluate at t equals 90 days, right? So, we're going to hit menu, calculus, derivative at a point right here. Alright, so the variable should be s, right? I change this one into s. Now the value right here should be 90 days, right? So I put 90 here. First derivative, press OK. Alright, so I'm going to input the function, so it could be enter. It's going to give you 0.15317, right? So your answer must be B. Now question 10. If sine of s times y equals s, then dy over ds is. Alright, so we need to take the derivative both sides with respect to s, right? So we have d over ds of sine sy, right? Equals d over ds of s, right? Now for this guy, we need to use the formula sine u prime. This could be u prime cosine u, right? Now u in this situation is s times y, right? So if you take u prime, you need to use the product rule, right? So it could be s prime times y plus y prime times s, right? This guy becomes derivative with respect to s of s times y, right? Times cosine of s times y, right? Equals derivative of this one equals 1, right? Now, derivative of this one, we use the product rule right here, right? So it could be derivative of s equal 1, so it could be y only, right? Plus derivative of y is going to be dy over ds times s right here, right? Times cosine s y equals 1, right? Now we're going to distribute this one, so we have y times cosine s y, right? Plus s times cosine s y dy over ds equals 1, right? So dy over ds equals, subtract this guy both sides, right? So have 1 minus y cosine s y, right? Divide by this guy right here, s cosine s y, right? So the answer must be D. Now question 11. If f and g are twice differentiable and if h of s equals f of g of s, then h double prime of s is, right? So we need to find the first derivative first, right? So it could be f prime of g of s times g prime of s, right? Now the second derivative, we're going to use the product rule, right? So it could be f prime of g of s, right? Derivative of this one equal this one, and then times g prime of s, the one inside right here, right? And then times this one right here, g prime of s, right? Plus derivative of this one could be g double prime of s times this one right here, f prime of g of s, right? So we're going to simplify it, so it should be h double prime of s equals f double prime of g of s times g prime of s all together squared, right? Plus g double prime of s times f prime of g of s. So the answer must be A. Now question 12. If f of s equals inverse tangent of s, then f prime of square root of 3 is, right? So we need to find f prime of s first. It's going to be 1 over 1 plus s squared, right? So then f prime of square root of 3 equals 1 over 1 plus square root of 3 squared, right? So give it 1 over 4, right? So the answer must be A. Now question 13. Let f of s be square root of e to the s plus 3. What is the approximation for f of 0.5? Found by using the line tangent to the graph of f(s) equals 0, right? So we need to use the point slope formula, right? Y minus y1 equals m times s minus s1, right? Now we have s1 is right here, right? Substitute 0 for s over here to find y1, right? So we have 0 comma e to the 0 is going to be 1. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Square root of 4 equals 2, right? So this is s1, y1, right? And the slope, take the derivative of this one. So we have f prime of s equals, remember, you can apply this formula, square root of u prime equals u prime over 2 square root of u. Or you can convert this one to u power 1/2, and then you're going to use the power rule, right? So u in this expression is e to the s plus 3. Take the derivative of this one, it could be e to the s over 2 square root of e to the s plus 3, right? And then I need to calculate f prime of 0, right? So substitute 0 for s, it could be 1 over 2 square root of 4, right? So it could be 1 over 4, right? So I have y equals the slope 1 over 4, right here, times s minus s1, which is 0, plus add y1 both sides, it could be 2, right? So y, I just replace this one with f of s equals 1 over 4 s, right? Because s subtract 0 equals s plus 2, right? Now I use this one to calculate this guy right here, right? So f of 0.5 equals 1 over 4 times 0.5, which means 1/2, right? Plus 2. So it could be 1 over 8 plus 2, right? So it's going to be 17 over 8. This guy actually 2.125, right? So the answer must be C. Question 14. If Ls equal Ln of s plus 4 plus e to the negative 3s, we need to find f prime of 0. Alright, so we're going to apply the formula natural log of u prime equals u prime over u, right? U in this situation is right here, right? So we have f prime of s equals derivative of this one is going to be 1 minus 3 e to the negative 3s, right? Over s plus 4 plus e to the negative 3s, right? So we have f prime of 0 is going to be 1 minus 3 times 1, right? Over 4 plus 1, right? So it could be 1 minus 3 could be negative 2 over 5, right? The answer must be A. Now question 15. If Ls equals this guy, we need to find f prime of s, right? So we're going to use the product rule and power rule and chain rule, right? So we have product rule first, right? So the derivative of this one is actually 1 times s squared plus 2 power of 3, right? Plus the derivative of this one, bring 3 to the front, s squared plus 2 power of 3 minus 1 is going to be 2, right? Times the one inside the parentheses, so it could be 2s, right? And then times s minus 1, right? Now we're going to simplify this one. It's going to be s squared plus 2 cubed plus 3 times s squared plus 2 squared, right? Now 3 times 2s is going to be 6s times s minus 1, right? Now I look at the answer choice right here. I don't see s squared plus 2 cubed, right? So which means I need to factor this guy out, right? So I have s squared plus 2 all together power of 2, right? Times s squared plus 2 left right here, right? Plus this one gone, right? Because you factor out. So you have 6s times s, it could be 6s squared, right? 6s times negative 1, it could be negative 6s, right? Now we just simplify, so it could be s squared plus 2 squared, right? Times s squared plus 6s squared, it could be 7s squared, right? Minus 6s plus 2, right? So the answer must be D. Now let's move on to question 16. Let f be a differentiable function such that f of 3 equals 15, f of 6 equals 3, f prime of 3 equals negative 8, and f prime of 6 equals negative 2. The function g is differentiable and g of s equals inverse f of s for all s. What is the value of g prime of 3? Now remember, if f and g are inverse of each other, then a point a b on f becomes b a on g, right? So keep that in mind. Now we need to calculate g prime of 3, so we take the derivative of this one. So it could be g prime of s equals 1 over f prime of f inverse of s, right? So g prime of a equals 1 over f prime of inverse of f of a, right? Now inverse f of a is actually b, right? Look, because f and g are inverse of each other, right? So it could be 1 over f prime of b, right? This one right here, f of 6 equals 3, so it tells us that the coordinate 6 and 3 is on the function f of s, right? And because g and f are inverse of each other, right? And then the point 3 sit on the function g, right? So we calculate g prime of 3 equals 1 over f prime of b. b which means 6 right here, right? So it could be f prime of 6 equals negative 2 right here, right? So it could be negative 1/2. The answer must be A. Now question 17. The function h of s equals s cubed plus ks squared, where k is a constant. If the tangent line to the graph of hs, s were negative 2, is parallel to the line that contains the point 1, 3, and 4, 15, what is the value of k, right? So, you know that two lines parallel to each other, they have the same slope, right? So the tangent line to the graph right here, we need to find the slope using the first derivative, right? So h prime of s equals 3s squared plus 2ks, right? So this guy right here must be equals the slope of this guy, right? So the slope of this guy, we just use the right over run, right? Now right 15 subtract 3 over run 4 subtract 1. So it could be 12 over 3, it could be 4, right? So we have 3s squared plus 2ks equals 4, right? But s equals negative 2 right here. So we have 3 times negative 2 squared, it could be 12 plus 2 times k times negative 2 equals 4, right? So k equals 4 minus 12 divided by negative 4, right? Because 2 times negative 2 equals negative 4. So it's going to be negative 8 divided by negative 4 is going to be 2. The answer must be D. Now question 18. The local linear approximation to the function g at s were 1/2 is y equals 4s plus 1. What is the value of g of 1/2 plus g prime of 1/2? Alright, so we have g of 1/2 plus g prime of 1/2. We're going to use this one, substitute 1/2 for s over here. It's actually g of 1/2, right? So we have 4 times 1/2 plus 1, right? Plus g prime of 1/2, take the derivative of this one, right? So it could be 4, right? So g prime of 1/2 equals 4. So if we simplify this one, 4 divided by 2, it could be 2, 2 plus 1, it could be 3, plus 4, it could be 7, right? So the answer must be D. Now let's move on to question 19. An ice sculpture in the form of a sphere melts in such a way that it maintains its spherical shape. The volume of the sphere is decreasing at a constant rate of 2 pi cubic meters per hour. At what rate in square meters per hour in the sphere area of the sphere decreasing at the moment when the radius is 5 meters. This one is the related rate problem. You given, look at this one right here. The volume of the sphere is decreasing at a constant rate of 2 pi cubic meters per hour, right? So this one actually the rate of change of the volume, right? So we have dv over dt equals decreasing, which means negative 2 pi cubic meters per hour, right? Now what else you given? You given the radius is 5 meters. You given the surface area is 4 pi r squared right here, right? And you given the volume is 4 over 3 pi r cubed, right? Now, what you need to find? You need to find the rate of the surface area, right? So we need to find ds over dt equals how much, right? Now we're going to set up the equation, right? So we're going to start from the volume right here, right? Alright, so we have equation V equals 4 over 3 pi r cubed, right? Why do we have to use this formula? Because you given this one right here, right? So we need to make use of this information, right? So we're going to take the derivative both sides with respect to t, right? So we have dv over dt equals, bring 3 to the front, it's going to be 4 pi r squared, right? Times dr over dt, right? Don't forget to use the implicit differentiation, right? Now, dv over dt equals negative 2 pi, right? So I substitute negative 2 pi equals 4 pi times r squared, but r equals 5 right here, so it will be 25 times dr over dt. I need to solve for dr over dt equals negative 2 pi divided by 4 pi times 25, right? So it could be negative 1 over 50, right? Now we need to focus on this one right here. So we have ds over dt equals, we're going to use the formula right here, right? Take the derivative both sides with respect to t, right? So we have 8 pi times r times dr over dt. But dr over dt is negative 1 over 50, right? So I substitute, it's going to be 8 pi times 5 times negative 1 over 50, right? So it could be, this guy is second, so you have 10 right here, right? 8 divided by 2, it could be 4, right? So it could be negative 4 pi over 5, right? So the answer must be A right here. Now remember, negative side right here tells us that the rate is decreasing, right? So we look at the question right here. It says the surface area of the sphere decreasing, right? So we don't need to put the negative side right here, right? Now question 20. The graph of the function f(s) equals e to the sine s minus 1 crosses the x-axis at one point on the interval 1 to 4. What is the instantaneous rate of change of the function f(s) at this point? Now first you need to find the intersection between the function f(s) and the x-axis, right? The x-axis, which means y equals 0, right? So we have e to the sine s minus 1 equals 0, right? It's the same thing as e to the sine s equals 1, right? It's going to be the same thing as sine s equals 0, right? And then s equals pi, right? Because pi equals 3.14 is inside this interval, right? You could have s equals 0, you could have s equals 2 pi, something like that. But this guy right here is outside the domain, right? So we don't use this one, right? Now, instantaneous rate of change is the same thing as the first derivative of s, right? So we're going to use the formula e to the u, right? So u prime e to the u is going to be cosine s e to the sine s, right? And then you have f prime of pi, right? It's going to be cosine pi times e to the sine pi, right? So cosine pi equals negative 1, right? Times e to the sine pi equals 0, e to the 0 equals 1, right? So the answer is negative 1, right? The answer must be B. Question 21. In the xy plane, the line s plus y equals k, where k is a constant, is tangent to the graph of y equals x squared plus 3x plus 1. What is the value of k, right? So we just get the graph, this one right here. Suppose it could be something like this. Convert this one to slope-intercept form, so it could be y equals negative s plus k, right? So this is y equals negative s plus k, right? Now remember that the tangent point right here is the point that on the graph y equals negative s plus k and the parabola right here, right? So the slope of the tangent line of this one should be the slope of this guy, right? So we need to take the derivative of y prime equals 2s plus 3, right? And this guy actually equals negative 1 right here, right? Equals negative 1, and you solve for s, so s equals negative 2, right? Substitute negative 2 by s back to the function right here to solve for y, right? So we have y equals -2 square plus 3 times -2 plus 1, right? So it's going to be -1, right? So you have the order pair -2 and -1, right? So this point is also on the tangent line right here, right? So substitute this point into this equation right here to solve for k. So you have -1 equals negative of -2 plus k. So k equals -3, right? The answer must be A. Now let's move on to question 22. If the base B of a triangle is increasing at a rate of 3 inches per minute, while its height is decreasing at a rate of 3 inches per minute, which of the following must be true about the area of the triangle, right? So you know that the area of the triangle is given by the formula 1/2 times B times H, right? Now let's take the derivative both sides with respect to t, right? So we have dA over dt equals 1/2. I'm going to use the product rule, right? So I have b times dh over dt, right? Plus h times db over dt, right? Now, the base is increasing at a rate of 3 inches. So you have dB over dt equals plus 3, right? And the height is decreasing at a rate of 3 inches. So you have dh over dt equals minus 3, right? Substitute these two guys over here. So we have dA over dt equals 1/2 times b times dh over dt is going to be -3, right? Plus h times dB over dt is going to be 3, right? So we have dA over dt equals 1/2. Now we're going to factor 3 out. So we have 3 times h minus b, right? Now we look at the answer choice right here. A is always increasing. We don't know it, right? We need to know the values of h and b, right? So this one wrong. Similarly, we don't know b, right? Now a is decreasing only when b less than h. Now b less than h tells us that b minus h less than 0, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides by -1. So I have h minus b greater than 0. So if this one greater than 0, the whole thing greater than 0. Right? So A must be increasing, so C is wrong, right? Similarly, D right here, B greater than H. So I subtract H both sides, so I have B minus H greater than 0, right? And then, because I have H minus B right here, so I need to multiply both sides by -1. So it will be H minus B less than 0. So this guy less than 0 right here, less than 0. It tells us that dA over dt less than 0. So it could be decreasing. The answer must be D. Now let's move on to question 23. An equation of the line tangent to the graph LS at the point 1 minus 1 is this very simple question, right? We need to take the derivative of this one, so we have f prime of s equal, use the product rule, right? Derivative of s equal 1, so we have 1 minus 2s cubed plus derivative of this one could be 3 times 1 minus 2s squared times the one inside right here, -2, right? And then times s right here, right? We calculate f prime of 1, right? So it could be 1 minus 2 cubed plus 3 times 1 minus 2 squared, right? Times -2. So it could be -1, right? Plus 3 times -2. So it could be -7, right? Now, we use the point slope formula, right? So y minus y1 is -1 right here. So it should be plus 1 equals the slope right here, -7 times s minus s1 right here. So y equals -7, distribute this one, -7s, right? Plus 7 subtract 1, so it could be negative 7s plus 6, the answer must be A. Now question 24. If Ls equals this guy, we need to find f prime of s, right? So we need to apply the formula sine u prime equal u prime cosine u, right? And ln of u prime is to be u prime over u, right? So f prime of s equals, this one is u, right? So it could be ln of 2s prime cosine of ln of 2s, right? And then I apply this formula right here. So it could be 2 over 2s times cosine of ln of 2s, right? So it could be 1 over s cosine of ln of 2s, right? So the answer must be B. Now let's move on to question 25. What is the maximum error of the rectangle that can be inscribed into the region bounded by the graph f equals 9 minus s squared and the x-axis? Alright, so we just get the graph to see what happens. Now the error of the rectangle is A equals length times width, right? The length is distance from here to here, right? And the width is from here to here, right? So the length is going to be, this is s, this should be s, right? So we have 2s times the width. The width is right here, right? It could be 9 minus s squared, right? We distribute this one, it could be 18s minus 2s cubed, right? So when it comes to maximum or minimum, we need to take the first derivative, right? So we have a prime of s equals 18 minus 6s squared, right? We need to find the critical number, right? So we need to let this one equals 0, and then you have s equals plus and minus square root of 3, right? Remember, the domain of s should be between 0 and 3, right? So we need to use the candidate test, right? So we have a of 0 equals a of root 3 equals and a of 3 equals, right? A of 0 substitute 0 for s into the equation right here, right? So we had 0. A of root 3 is to be 18 times root 3 minus 2 times root 3 cubed, right? So this one turns out to be 12 root 3, right? A of 3 is to be 18 times 3 minus 2 times 3 cubed, right? So it could be 54 minus 54, right? It's going to be 0, right? So the maximum is right here, 12 root 3. The answer must be D, right? You can use the second derivative test, right? You can have a double prime of root 3 right here less than 0. So the function has the maximum value, right? Now let's move on to question 26. Let f be a choice differentiable function such that f of 3 equals 1, dy over dx equals y squared plus y. What is the value of this guy, right? So we need to take the second derivative of this one, right? So we have d squared y over dx squared equals 2y dy over dx plus dy over dx, right? Now we need to calculate dy over dx first, right? So we have dy over dx at y equals 1 right here, right? So it could be 1 plus 1, it could be 2, right? So we substitute over here, so it could be 2 times y equals 1. dy over dx is 2 plus 2, right? So it could be 6, the answer must be B. Now let's move on to question 27. Let f be the function satisfying f prime of s equals s square root of f of s for all real numbers s, where f of 3 equals 25. We need to calculate the second derivative of f of 3, right? So f double prime of s equals, use the product rule, right? So it could be square root of f of s, right? Plus, we're going to use the formula square root of u prime. It could be u prime over 2 square root of u, right? So it could be f prime of s over 2 square root of f of s times s right here. I put s in the front, right? So I substitute 3 for s, right? So f double prime of 3 equals square root of f of 3, right? Plus 3 times f prime of 3 over 2 square root of f of 3, right? So f of 3 equals 25. So it could be square root of 25 equals 5 plus 3 times f prime of 3, substitute 3 for s over here. So you have 3 square root of f of 3, right? Over 2 square root of f of 3, right? So it could be 5 plus 9 times square root of 25 equals 5 over 2 times 5, right? 5 and 5 cancel out, so it could be 5 plus 4.5, it could be 9.5, right? Now let's move on to question 28. Consider the curve given by this guy. We need to show that dy over dx equals this, right? So we're going to use the product rule, right? Derivative of s equals 1, so we have y squared, right? Plus derivative of y squared, it could be 2, and then times s right here, it could be sy dy over ds, right? Minus derivative of this one could be 3s squared times y, right? Plus derivative of y could be dy over ds, so it could be s cubed dy over ds equals 0, right? Now I'm going to distribute negative 1, so this guy becomes, so I factor dy over ds out, right? So I have dy over ds, it could be 2sy minus s cubed, right? Equals, I subtract this guy and I'm going to add this guy both sides, right? So I have 3s squared y subtract y squared, right? Divide both sides by this guy, right? So I'm going to end up with the answer right there, right? Now question B. Find all points on the curve whose s-coordinate is 1 and write an equation for the tangent line at each of these points. So you given s-coordinate is 1, substitute 1 for s over here, you solve for y, right? So we have y squared minus y equals 6. So y squared minus y minus 6 equals 0. Factor this one out, so it could be y minus 3 times y plus 2 equals 0. So y equals 3 and y equals negative 2. So you have the point, it could be 1, 3 and 1, negative 2, right? Now we need to write an equation for the tangent line at each of these points, right? So we need to write this one first, right? So we have the slope is given by this formula right here, right? So we have dy over ds equals, substitute 1 and 3 for s and y right here, right? So we have 3 times 1 times 3 minus 3 squared over 2 times 1 times 3 minus 1, right? So it could be 9 subtract 9 is going to be 0, right? So the slope equals 0, you have the point slope formula is going to be y minus y1, y1 is 3, equal the slope is 0 times s minus s1, it could be 1, right? So equation should be y equals 3, the first one, right? Now second one right here, you have dy over ds equals s equals 1, so you have 3 times 1, y equals negative 2, minus negative 2 squared, over 2 times 1 times negative 2 minus 1, right? So if you simplify this one, it's going to be negative 10 over negative 5 is going to be 2, right? So the equation of the tangent line is going to be y minus y1 is going to be negative 2, so plus 2 equals the slope is 2, right? Times s minus s1 right here, right? And if you simplify s1, it's going to be y equals 2s minus 2 subtract 2 minus 4, right? This one is the equation of the second tangent line, right? Now let's move on to question C. Find the s-coordinate of each point on the curve where the tangent line is vertical, right? So remember the Christmas tree. The tangent line is going this way, the slope is positive. Tangent line is going this way, the slope is negative. The tangent line is horizontal, the slope is 0. And tangent line is vertical, the slope is undefined. Alright, so we go back over here, we find the slope is going to be right here. Now the slope is undefined when 2sy minus s cubed equals 0, right? Factor s out, so we have 2y minus s squared equals 0, right? So then s equals 0 or y equals 1/2 s squared, right? Copy this equation down. Now we substitute 0 for s into this equation to solve for y, right? So it's going to be 0 equals 6. This one impossible, right? So you need to conclude that there is no point with the s coordinate equals 0. Now I'm going to substitute 1/2 s squared for y into this equation. I have s times 1/2 s squared all together squared minus s cubed times 1/2 s squared equals 6, right? So it's going to be 1 over 4 s to the 5th minus 1 over 2 s to the 5th equals 6, right? So it's going to be negative 1 over 4 s to the 5th equals 6. Multiply both sides by negative 4, so s to the 5th equals negative 24. Take 5th root both sides, so s equals 5th root of negative 24, right? This one is the final answer. Now let's move on to question 29. Grass clippings placed in a bin where they decompose for t between 0 and 30. The amount of grass clippings remaining in the bins is modeled by this equation, where A of t is measured in pounds and t is measured in days. Find the average rate of change of A of t over the interval 0 to 30. Alright, so remember we have the average rate of change formula is given by the formula f of b minus f of a over b minus a, right? So a equals 0, b equals 30, right? So you have a of 30 subtract a of 0 over 30 subtract 0, right? So you have a of 30 is going to be 6.687 times 0.931 raised to the 30. Subtract 6.687. 0.931 raised to the 0 is going to be 1, right? So I just leave it like that. Over 30, right? So we can bring up the calculator. Now you're going to hit the button right here, put the fraction, right? So it could be 6.687, control enter. It could be negative 0.1968, right? Now question B. Find the value of A prime of 15. Use the correct units. Interpret the meaning of the value in the context of the problem. Alright, so we have A prime of 15 equals. We're going to print up the calculator. Now you need to store the function, right? So you just press A of t, then press Control and the button right here. It's going to be 6.687 times 0.931 raised to the t, and then press enter. Alright, now you need to evaluate derivative of this one at t equals 15, right? So you're gonna press menu, calculus, derivative at a point right here. Alright, this one I just change it to t, right? And value right here should be 15, right? And then press OK right here, right? So I'm gonna put the function right here, a of t, right? And then press Control Enter. It's gonna be 0.163, right? This value tells us that the amount of grass clippings in the bin is decreasing because you have the negative side right here, right? At a rate of 0.164, right? Pounds per day at time t equals 15 days. Now let's move on to question 30. The temperatures of water in the tub at time t is modeled by a strictly increasing twice differentiable function W, where Wt is measured in degree Fahrenheit, T is measured in minutes. At time t equals 0, the temperature of the water is 55 degrees. The water is heated for 30 minutes, beginning at time t equals 0. Values of Wt at selected times t for the first 20 minutes given in the table above. Question A. Use the data in the table to estimate W prime of 12. Show the computation that leads to your answer using the correct units. Interpret the meaning of your answer in the context of this problem. Alright. So W prime of 12 equals 12 is between 9 and 15, right? So we're going to use the mean value theorem, right? So it could be W of 15 subtract W of 9, right? Over 15 subtract 9. Now W of 15 is going to be 67.9 subtract 61.8 divided by 15 subtract 9, right? Now we're going to print up the calculator. So we're going to hit the button right here, pick the fraction, and then press Control Enter. It's going to be 1.0167, right? Now we need to say that the water temperature is increasing because this one is the plus side, right? At a rate of approximately 1.167 degree per minute at time t equals 12 minutes. Now let's move on to question 31. Alright, so question 31 is similar to question 30, right? Now, you given 12 right here, right? So the question wants you to calculate W prime of 12. You're going to use the mean value theorem, right? So W prime of 12 equals W of 15 subtract W of 9 over 15 subtract 9, right? So the answer must be negative 0.5 degrees per day, right? Now you have two different ways to do this one. Since 12 is given, you can pick this interval right here, right? So W prime of 12 is approximately W of 12 subtract W of 9, right? Over 12 minus 9. You have another way to do this one is you're going to pick this interval right here, right? So W prime of 12 equals W of 15 subtract W of 12 over 15 subtract 12, right? Now question 32. Solution to the differentiable equation dy over dx equals s squared cubed also satisfy this guy. Let y equals f of s be a particular solution to the differentiable equation. dy over ds equals s squared cubed with f of 1 equals 2. Write an equation for the line tangent to the graph y equals f of s at s equals 1. Alright? Now, you need to find the slope of the equation of the tangent line first, right? So we have dy over ds at s equals 1, y equals 2, right? So point 1, comma 2 equals using this one right here, right? So we have 1 times 2 cubed equals 8, right? Now you have the order pair right here. This is s equals 1, y equals 2. So we're going to use the point slope from formula, right? So we have y equals the slope 8 times s minus s1, which means 1 right here, at y1, which is 2 right here, right? Now question B. Use the tangent lines equation from part A to approximate f of 1.1. Alright, so I just name this one as f of s equals 8 times s minus 1 plus 2, right? So have f of 1.1 equals 8 times 1.1 subtract 1 plus 2, right? So it could be 8 times 0.1 plus 2, right? So it could be 0.8 plus 2 equals 2.8, right? Given that f of s greater than 0 for s between 1 and 1.1 is the approximation for f of 1.1 greater than or less than f of 1.1. Alright, so since f of s greater than 0, right? And you have the second derivative right here. D square y over ds square equals, using this point right here, s equals 1, y equals 2, substitute over there, right? So you have 8 times 1 plus 3 times 1 times 2 square equals 4, right? So it could be positive, right? So it tells us that the function is concave up, right? You look at the notes right here. The function concave up, the approximation right here is underestimate. It tells us that the tangent line is under the curve, right? We look at the notes right here. Tangent line is under the curve, which means it's gonna underestimate the value, right? Question 33. Ship A traveling due west toward Lighthouse Rock at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Ship B is traveling due north away from Lighthouse Rock at a speed of 10 kilometers per hour. Let S be the distance between ship A and Lighthouse Rock at time t, and let Y be the distance between ship B and Lighthouse Rock at time t as shown in the figure above. Now question B. Find the rate of change in kilometers per hour of the distance between the two ships when S equals 4 kilometers and Y equals 3 kilometers, right? So we need to find this guy right here, right? Now I name this one R, right? So I have R squared equals S squared plus Y squared by Pythagorean theorem, right? So I substitute S equals 4, Y equals 3, right? So R squared equals 4 squared plus 3 squared, it could be 16 plus 9, it could be 25. So R equals square root 25, it could be 5, right? Now, I'm going to use this equation right here. I'm going to take derivative both sides with respect to t, right? So I have 2r dr over dt, right? Equals 2s ds over dt plus 2y dy over dt, right? Divide both sides by 2. So I have r times dr over dt equals s ds over dt plus y dy over dt, right? Now r equals 5, so I put 5 right here, right? Dr over dt, this is what I need to find, right? Because the question wants us to find the rate of change of the distance between two ships, right? So two ships is going to be r, right? S equals 4 times ds over dt. ds over dt is given by 15 right here. But you need to be careful. It's going to be negative, right? Now think about the s and y coordinate right here. This is west, this is east, north, and south, right? Look at the s and y coordinate right here. It's going to be positive, negative, negative, positive, right? So, since ship A traveling due west, right? So traveling this way, it could be negative, right? So it could be negative 15 plus y equals 3. And ship B traveling due north away from lighthouse, so it's traveling this way, right? So it could be positive, right? So it could be 10 right here. So dr over dt equals 4 times negative 15 is going to be negative 60 plus 30 divided by 5, right? So it could be negative 6 kilometers per hour, right? Now let's move on to question C. Let theta be the angle shown in the figure. So theta right here. Find the rate of change of angle theta in radians per hour when s equals 4 and y equals 3 kilometers, right? So I don't have enough space, I'm gonna write over here, okay? So I have tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent, which is y divided by s, right? Now I'm gonna take derivative of with respect to t, right? So derivative of this one turns out to be secant square theta, right? D theta over dt, right? Equals, I'm going to use the quotient rule for this one, right? So it's going to be derivative of y is going to be dy over dt, right? So multiply by s, it's going to be s dy over dt. Subtract derivative of s, it's going to be ds over dt, right? So multiply by y, it's going to be y ds over dt divided by s squared, right? Now previously we calculate r right here equals 5, right? Now we need to find secant of theta. So secant of theta is actually 1 over cosine theta, right? So it's going to be 1 over cosine theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So it could be 4 over 5. So I'm going to check reciprocal of this one. It could be 5 over 4, right? I have secant square of theta. It could be 5 over 4 square. It could be 25 over 16 d theta over dt, right? Equals s equals 4 right here. dy over dt, 10 right here, right? Minus y equals 3 right here. Times ds over dt, it could be negative 15, right? Over s squared. It could be 4 square, it could be 16, right? It could be 85 over 16, right? So d theta over dt equals 85 over 16 times 16 over 25, right? This guy cancel out, right? So divide the top bottom by 5, it could be 17 over 5. And the unit is radian per hour, right? Now let's move on to question 34. The function f is defined on the closed interval -5 to 4. The graph of f consists of 3 line segments and is shown in the figure above. Question D. The function p is defined by p of s equals f of s squared minus s. Find the slope of the line tangent to the graph of p at the point where s equals -1. Alright, so we need to take the derivative of this one, right? So we have p prime of s equals, right, f prime of s squared minus s, and don't forget to take the derivative of the inner function right here, right? So it could be 2s minus 1, right? Now substitute negative 1 for s, so we have p prime of negative 1 equals f prime of negative 1 square, it could be 1. Negative of negative 1 is could be 1, so it could be 2, right? Times 2 times negative 1, it could be negative 2 minus 1 could be negative 3, right? Now f prime of 2, look at this one right here. F prime of 2 is right here. So f prime, which means the slope of this tangent line, right? So we're going to use right over run right here. So right equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and run equals 2, right? So actually it could be negative, right? Because the graph going down, right? So it could be negative 4 over 2 times negative 3, right? So it could be 6, right? Now question 35. A 12,000 liter tank of water is filled to capacity. At time t equals 0, water begins to drain out of the tank at a rate modeled by R of t measured in liters per hour, where R is given by the piecewise defined function. Now question C. Find R prime of 3 using the correct units. Explain the meaning of that value in the context of this problem. Now 3 right here is between this interval right here, so we're gonna pick this one, right? So we have R prime of t equals, we're gonna use the quotient rule, right? So it could be 600 times t plus 3, right? Minus derivative of t plus 3, it could be 1, right? Times 600 t over t plus 3 square, right? So we're going to simplify this one. 600 times t and this one cancel out. So we have 1800 over t plus 3 all together square, right? So we have R prime of 3 equals 1800 divided by 3 plus 3 equals 6 square equals 36, right? So 1800 divided by 36 it could be 50, right? Now we need to explain the meaning of this value in the context of the problem, right? Since this function is the rate, right? So we need to say the rate at which water is draining out of the tank at t equals 3 hours is increasing, right? Because we have the plus side right here, at 50 liters per hour square, right? Because the unit right here is liters per hour, right? So when you take the derivative of this one, it could be liters per hour, right? So keep that in mind. Now let's move on to question 36. Let f be a twice differentiable function defined on the interval negative 1.2 to 3.2 with f of 1 equals 2. The graph of f prime derivative of f is shown below. The graph of f prime crosses the x-axis at s1, negative 1, and 3. Has a horizontal tangent line at s1, 2. Let g be the function given by g of s equal e to the f of s. Question A. Write an equation for the line tangent to the graph of g as s equal 1, right? So first we need to find the first derivative, right? So we have g prime of s equals f prime of s times e to the f of s, right? Now s equals 1, so we have g prime of 1 equals f prime of 1 times e to the f of 1, right? So we substitute value f prime of 1 equals negative 4 right here, right? So negative 4 times e to the f of 1. F of 1 equals 2 right here, right? We have y minus y1 equals m times s minus s1, right? So y equals, the slope is negative 4e squared times s minus s1. s1 is 1 right here. And then plus y1. y1 is right here. So we have g of 1 equals e to the f of 1, right? But f of 1 equals 2 right here, so it could be e squared, right? So we have e squared right here. Now let's move on to the last question. The function h is defined by this one. Find h prime of 0. If it does not exist, explain why. Now first you need to take the derivative of this function, right? So we have h prime of s equals 4s cubed plus 3 for s less than or equal to 0 and 3 e to the 3s for s greater than 0. Now we need to find the limit of the function h prime of s when s approaches 0 minus, we're going to pick this guy right here, right? So it could be limit of 4s cubed plus 3 when s approaches 0 minus, right? So it could be substitute 0 for s, the answer is 3, right? Now limit of h prime of s when s approaches 0 plus, we're going to pick this guy right here, right? So it could be limit of 3e to the 3s when s approaches 0 plus substitute 0 for s, it could be 3, right? Now this guy equal this guy, so you may conclude that h prime of 0 equals 3, but it's not the case. Why? Because you need to check to see if the function is continuous as equals 0, right? Remember, if the function is not continuous, the function is not differentiable, right? So we need to check limit of the function h of s when s approaches 0 minus, right? We're going to pick this guy right here. So we have limit of s to the 4 plus 3s when s approaches 0 minus, substitute 0 for s, right? So it could be 0. Now limit of h of s when s approaches 0 plus equals limit of e to the 3s plus 5 when s approaches 0 plus, right? Equals substitute 0 for s, it could be 1 plus 5 equals 6. Now this guy and this guy are not the same. So we say that the limit of h of s when s approaches 0 does not exist, right? So it tells us that the function is discontinuous as s equals 0. Therefore, the function h of s is not differentiable as s equals 0. So then this one does not exist, right? And it's good time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand